So I got a question for you about the Flaviar thing.
Right.
So I ordered my first test.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the tracking thing from USPS. Yeah. It said it's coming from Slovenia.
Wow.
Why would it come
What
from
did you click on?
Slovenia?
You sure you didn't order
I
from
swear
Caviar?
to God, I did it right. So I got a tracking number. I got
You're about to get an Eastern European wife.
in a little box, just like that.
Does Liz know about this?
What's her name? What was her name? What was the James Bond?
I can't remember.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Bourbon Boys, the podcast where guys get together to talk about bourbon, about life, lore, and libation, everything that comes with being a dad. We aren't bourbon snobs, just a group of guys who like bourbon for what it is and how it tastes. It's pretty simple. This is podcast number 15. I'm Derek, your host, and with me are my Bourbon Boys. We got Alton.
Happy summer.
We got Kurtron.
Hey there.
And Krat.
Hey.
And tonight we're going to take a slightly different format. We have tonight's episode is sponsored by Flaviar.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do they know that?
What is Flaviar?
yeah.
What is Flaviar?
I'm going to send him a Venmo request.
There you go. I'll send my pigeon. Whichever one gets there first.
Who got eaten by my penguin? Or by my, what did he get eaten?
Penguin.
Oh, my pelican.
Dinosaur.
Pelican. My pelican.
So Flaviar is a spirit-based subscription club or group.
Yeah.
And for my 50th, Taylor and Brittany gave me a year membership to Flaviar. And I went on, super easy. It's Flaviar, Flaviar. I don't know if it's Flaviar or Flaviar, like caviar, or I don't know.
Let's go with
Either
Flaviar.
way, it still works. But you basically you set up your profile. You indicate if you're open to all spirits or want to just dial in. So I dialed into bourbon, but you could cover Scotch, gin, vodka, rum,
Tequila.
bourbon,
Yep.
and other whiskeys. Yep. So I dialed into bourbon, and it takes you through your flavor profile of what you like, what you've had. You can click on brand names to narrow down the things that you've already tasted. And then it makes a recommendation to try a particular sampler. So tonight we're going to all share it comes in 3 vials, A, B, and C. I think they're 4-ounce vials. And so that's a good pour and a half, maybe. Half a pour.
Depends on what house you live in. Depends on what house you live in.
Depends on what restaurant you go to as well.
This is true.
Right?
Yes.
Clearly.
But it looks like it's a good amount. I think it's enough for us to each get a little, a sip and a flavor. And this is these 3 that came, I've never heard of them before. Mm-hmm. And they are small craft distilleries around the country. I think one's in Texas, one's in Michigan. And I forget where the other one's coming from, but the presentation is very cool. It comes with a coaster. It comes with these little sampling cards so you can write notes. It gives you the flavor profile of each of these bourbons on the card, so you can see what you should be trying to taste and what you'll get on the nose. And then along with that, they also kick in a full bottle of bourbon. So I got a bottle of Few, which we've talked about before.
Yep.
Big fan of that one. That's out of Chicago, right?
Evanston. Yep.
Yep. And so that comes along with it. It arrived in a couple weeks, and it's really cool. I've been looking forward to sharing with you guys, so we can all try it and see how it is. But if you're looking for a referral, we'll put a link on our site and in the podcast.
Or send us an email. We'll refer you.
So the referrals, I haven't seen it hit my account, but the referral supposedly is, and I referred Kurt. Mm-hmm. So I get a $50 credit toward basically essentially a free bottle of bourbon, and you get a $50 credit for signing up.
Yeah. So I signed up, and then I got 2 other people sign up. So I have $145 credit sitting in my account to buy bourbon.
That is a good thing to have.
It's super generous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I got to ask, did you get the Few or did you order that?
That was the one that they threw. That was the quarterly bottle.
Okay.
And then I ordered Michter's I figured they were going to drive a truck out here anyways.
But was that the only bottle you could choose for the quarterly?
Yeah, if I remember correctly. If it wasn't, it was something that I had already had.
Okay.
Just a common bottle. I would say that I don't think that their selection is huge. So it's not like Casker's where there's every type of bourbon you could find is on Casker's. Flaviar, I think, has a little bit more
It's a lot
limited.
of different ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But tonight, I'm looking forward to cracking these open. They come in these little test tubes, and they're labeled ABC. We're going to crack them open and give them a shot.
So you get the test tube with an A, and then you get a little sticker kit, so you have to match it up yourself.
Yep.
I hope you did it right.
Which one is A?
Can you
This is
do
the
that?
Alamo black label, right? Yeah.
All right. So Alamo, that is a San Antonio-based distillery.
Makes sense.
Yep. This one's coming in at 90 proof.
Okay.
It looks like a common bottle that we would have seen before, like in the Russell's Reserve type shape. It's kind of a squat, very round bottle. And it's a kind of a micro specialty craft distillery. Only $35 a bottle, which isn't crazy. But they say in this little tasting card that I'm holding here, it says that it's going to be in the sweet side, a little bit of smoke. You'll get some spicy notes, maybe some smoky peat, caramel, oak, vanilla, dark fruit, and brown sugar. So it sounds like it's going to be on the sweeter side, sweet and smoky.
I like it.
Yeah. And this is a bottle that
Altoon's going to it.
I've never seen in any of our stores. Probably not sure if I will in North Carolina, but definitely worth a sample here. And this is vial A. So if you want to pour that and give it a shot.
I feel like I'm in a lab.
So it's yeah, exactly.
It's literally a vial.
Yeah, it's a sealed glass vial with a little label on it, and it smells really good. So there won't be a whole lot of
Definitely
uncorking.
smell this. I can
There you go. Yeah, there you go. It's a little testing court.
That's awesome. So
What do you get on the nose?
I get a lot. I get a lot of sweetness for sure.
Okay, you get sweet nose.
So yeah.
All right, Dave, did you try it?
Literally went down the wrong pipe.
Okay.
My eyes are watering.
So you get a sweet nose.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get a lot of sometimes you can really smell. It's like an intense smell, but I would classify it as a soft, sweet smell.
Yeah, not a ton of alcohol coming at you.
It's 90 proof, so it's kind of in the middle of the road.
Exactly.
Especially when it goes down the wrong pipe. Ooh. I like it. Spicy.
It is. Yeah.
It is.
Not terribly complex in flavor, but it's
Shoots
spicy.
right up into the sinuses.
Yep.
Very forward.
Yeah, very
Right?
forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Aggressive.
a long finish.
No.
Kind of goes away pretty quick, but not bad.
Not bad.
Where's the bottle?
Yeah.
Or the
There.
vial, whatever you're calling it.
The vial. It's so vile. Oh, Kurt's already in one vial.
That's right.
I think the information's on here, Kurt.
Yeah.
Has a lot of flavor. That could be a good one to try like an old fashioned or something with.
Yep.
Or we don't have any more to make the mule with.
That's true.
The reason I was looking is just it had a hint, almost like it was like a wheat bourbon. I think it
think so?
reminds me a little bit of the Willet.
I don't think it had a mash bill when I looked it up.
No,
Nothing there. Okay.
I actually like
The Willet
it.
wasn't wheat, though, was it? It
Yeah.
was just the Weller that was wheat.
Oh, you're right.
Weller that was wheat.
You're
Yeah.
right. I'm sorry.
It's good.
Is that okay?
It's funny. The second sip is not as sweet to me.
Yeah.
No. This is one where actually the more sips I took, the less I actually liked it.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Good first start.
yeah, that's fun.
I actually do like it.
I'm surprised. You normally don't like stuff quite that spicy.
yeah.
Yeah, the second I do have to admit the second sip had more spice to it, but it comes after. It doesn't hit you right up front.
No.
Yeah. I kind of like it. 35
$35.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, to me,
not
the
that bad.
spiciness lingers. It doesn't hit you. It slowly comes to life for
Yep.
me. But
Yeah.
And I imagine that, it being the Alamo, it being San Antonio, there's probably a lot more in the the local lore and history and excitement and pride around it than, locally.
Yeah.
Like, if you were to
You
pick
can't
this
have a
up.
bourbon near the Alamo and have it be too smooth, right? It's gotta
That's right.
Gotta
gotta
be smoky.
powerful, smoky.
But I mean, this is what's great about this concept, right? Because this is such a great way to taste stuff.
Absolutely.
And then-
Absolutely.
I mean, the beauty is too, you get 4 of these a year plus 4 bottles a year.
Right. And
So-
the year membership was $300.
300, and I think it averages out. But when you get a $50 credit for signing up, so it's really $250, and then so you
get
average
5
that
bottles.
out. You average that out. It ends up being
and 4 samples for
$35-$40 a
Yeah.
bottle for what you're getting in the membership. So
Yep, that's pretty good.
yeah,
I like it.
Yeah.
The other thing that I started on the site, the site obviously covers all sorts of spirits, but they have a pretty decent educational space where you can walk through and understand what goes into making Scotch and why Scotch is a whiskey and spelled differently than the American whiskeys and why Irish whiskey is different than that. So there's so much to learn here, and I know we've always wanted to keep it out of the snobbery space, and I think we're still under the bar.
Dave's
that for that one.
not with the glasses, but
It's very sophisticated.
sophisticated.
But I think that the amount, what do we say? We have tried 60 bottles so far this year.
Probably, maybe a little more.
That 15 episodes, 3 bottles an episode. We're cruising right along.
Yeah.
But the ability for us to have at this point the ability to discern a decent bourbon for its price off of a list, I think it's pretty cool.
I agree.
I think you have most of those 45 bottles sitting behind you.
Yeah. The other 6 that we all had are long gone.
Exactly. Did you notice that? How the full ones stay here all the time?
Oh, yeah,
I
absolutely.
pace myself.
Derek is not breaking any land speed records over there.
No, I'm a sipper. I'm a sipper. All right.
All
This
right, what do we got next?
So this next one is Koval. It's Koval.
Yeah, it's a
And
single barrel.
single barrel bourbon.
Yeah. 94 proof.
Yep.
Out of Chicago.
Midwest, gotta
this
be
is
good.
the gluten free.
Yeah. So
So how do they do that?
very good question. So I looked it up, and the mash bill is because that one has a mash bill, right?
They just call out.
Oh,
They
no,
got
okay.
millet.
So instead of malted barley or rye, it has because it doesn't have to have either of those to be a bourbon. It just has 51% corn.
Corn, yep.
Okay.
They use millet, which is more often found in Africa and Asia,
Interesting.
and it is a non-gluten substitute. Or it's a
Interesting.
gluten substitute.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, still doing research on that because I've got a few folks in my family that are gluten intolerant, but used to love bourbon
There you go.
and are kind of stuck in this space where they haven't had a chance to try it.
Thank you.
So they said that this is a 2 to 4 year old bourbon.
It's a wee baby.
It is a wee lad.
And again, it's got to
From
be.
Chicago.
It has to be at least 2 years, otherwise they have to say it, right?
Yep.
Anything under 2 years,
Okay.
you have to declare how young it is.
Yeah.
So 2 to 4 year, I think 4 is pretty standard. So this is going to be, in that particular case, that will be a blend, which will be, again, hard for us to find. You top me off. Hard for us to find a mash bill if it's blended, but with others. This comes in at $52 a bottle. And it says it's going to have like a dry apricot, cinnamon, caramel. It says rye,
I smell the caramel.
clove,
Caramel.
a charred, tangy, malted barley taste.
With a hint of Parmesan.
That's bacon.
What do you get on the
Vanilla.
Koval? You get vanilla?
That is good.
Really?
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah, I kind of like this.
It's got a lot more body, like the flavor to it is really compared to the last one.
More complex.
It's nice.
Yeah. I actually
really
kind of
smoky.
get the fruity apricot
You
taste
do?
in there more so than
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
caramel.
This
Yeah.
one numbs my tongue a little bit.
It's got a little bit of earthy, a little earthy taste to it.
Yeah.
A little earthy in there somewhere.
I get burnt wood. Like I get a lot of that, but not like the char that I'm used to getting. I get something else. It's like a campfire.
Oh, yeah.
But when you said apricot, I was like, now I'm getting like second
go
wave.
again.
Charred
Totally
apricot.
suggestive.
Apricot. Oh yeah.
It's all right, so that's cool.
We know how that works.
I like that one a lot.
I do.
Yeah. So
I
cool.
really. This one sits with you.
Yeah, I like
really,
this a
really
lot.
nice, I think.
But for a 94 proof, it's pretty smooth.
Yeah. Have you guys ever seen
really
this
good
on the
point.
shelf? Koval? Koval?
Never.
It's a single barrel?
Yes, I have.
Where?
In
Which-
Chicago.
No,
Wisconsin?
in all
Wisconsin?
seriousnly, I think I saw it in Wisconsin. Yeah,
Okay.
at the
That
Total
was
Wine
Total
there.
Wine?
So, yep.
It's a cool bottle. I mean, it's real simple.
Let me see the bottle because I think. Yes,
That was it?
I have seen
Okay.
it.
Well,
Yep.
Now you know what to bring back.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well,
Smuggler's
I have
Blues.
somebody up there right now coming home tomorrow, so I should make some phone calls.
Get on it.
There you go.
That's really good. I like that a lot.
It is. Yeah. It is really good.
$52 a bottle. Not bad.
No.
No, I think,
Worth
very
it?
good.
Spent more on worse.
Yeah, that's true.
More on what?
Worse.
Oh.
Are we still talking bourbon? Or?
Wrong podcast.
Just want to make sure I heard it right.
Yeah, I really like that.
That's pretty cool. And I'm back thinking about what you were saying, Kurt, about this is a great way to just try things that, at least for us, with our ABC board and the limitations we have, it's become hard to try anything that's outside of what's been approved by the state.
Especially since all our travel's been cut off, so we can't even smuggle back to.
Definitely.
It's too bad ABC Liquor
This is
didn't come
true.
up with this idea.
Did you guys see that? I think Sarah texted to you guys the top shelf bourbon or high end liquor store that she stopped at in South Carolina, and she went in and like
on the door.
yeah, and then she FaceTimed me from the place, and I was like, nope. I was like, what's that doing on the top shelf? Nope, it was awful.
Wrong shelf.
Yeah, but anyways,
That sign was very funny. It was almost like the equivalent of no Stairway to Heaven in a Guitar Center.
Yeah.
Just like, don't even ask us.
That's right.
If we have all the brands everyone wants.
yeah, etc.
What's that ETL?
We were trying to think what that stood for.
Elmer T. Lee.
Dang, they don't have ETC.
They don't have BTC.
It's one of my favorites. Just goes on and on and on.
That's right.
We did come up with a great name though for a bourbon. If we were going to make one,
Which one was that? I forgot. Come on. I don't know.
When did we make this up?
when
was
did
in
we
that
make
thread.
that up?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
It was in our last podcast. We talked about it.
I got nothing.
Okay, I can't remember
I'll
the
have
word
to listen to
either.
it.
I don't listen to this
You
stuff.
sure it wasn't the podcast that you were like?
No, it wasn't.
Highly medicated.
No, it wasn't.
Oh my goodness. All right, number 3.
Number 3.
What do we get for number 3 in the name there? Because this one's super small and I can't. My arms aren't long enough. This is the No.
Yeah, it'd be Journeyman. We've done everything else. I think so.
Oh yeah, this is the Journeyman
Michigan.
Featherbone.
Journeyman for the Bone. That is out of Michigan, correct? And this one does actually have a mash bill. So this is 70 corn, 25 wheat, 5 rye. Do the math, folks. 100. This is organic certified. So that's another thing that I didn't realize bourbon could do. But everything that they source, the corn, wheat, and rye, has been certified organic. So it's good for you.
Versus synthetic corn.
Yeah, non-genetically modified GMO,
GMO.
and maybe no pesticide. So just a straight up
Straight up.
earthy corn, wheat, and rye. This one clocks in at $54 a bottle. It says you can have some wheat notes. We're gonna get caramel. You're gonna hear the corn. You're gonna taste the corn. It's gonna be sweet and spicy. Yeah.
Snap, crackle, pop.
As long as you don't see the corn.
So yeah, heavy on the rye, but it's only 5%, so I'm not expecting it to be that much of a bite. I don't have a proof on this. Oh, it's 90 proof.
Smell a little kind of weedy.
Yeah?
Smells weedy. Yeah.
You just said that because Dave said that.
No, it smells like a barn.
It does.
It's good. I got to tell you.
Organic?
I got to tell you, I'm torn between B and C.
No. Too earthy.
Kurt, you're more agreeable than usual.
good.
You okay over there?
It's because I'm never agreeable with him.
It's got a good nose. I'm getting the citrus on the nose, but what are you getting? What are you guys getting for a first taste?
Yeah.
Not my fave.
Yeah.
It's
Not a lot of flavor.
Really?
It just feels a little flat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And kind of like earthy dirt. Kind of.
Here's what I find so funny about this whole process.
Yeah.
Like, how the hell do you know what earthy dirt tastes like?
You've ever eaten dirt?
You never
No.
had dirt?
How do you know what like burnt
Was that a
bark tastes
no
like?
that you've never had dirt?
No, I've never had dirt.
Wow.
Oh. No, it's just like
Don't you think it's kind of funny though? We talk like, ooh, it tastes like
like if
burnt
you're
oak.
like if you're out if you
Like, what-
when the
how do you know what burnt oak tastes like?
I guess it's just like if you're mowing the lawn and it's a dry, dusty day, and you're like, man, everything in my nose and throat is just coated in dirt.
Plus, you also ate dirt as a kid.
Yeah. Yep.
I did. Alton did.
Oh yeah.
It's Wisconsin kids. Odd. I married one. I know.
Just saying.
Sarah probably ate dirt too, though. But Kurt, I think maybe it's that whole
it's
smell
like the
taste
smell
thing.
and taste. Yeah, no, I get it.
But it is a very interesting philosophical conversation you tried
Not
to bring
really.
up, though.
I'm just trying to give you guys shit.
Yeah. So really interesting versus the first one. I can't remember what it was. Whatever, it doesn't matter. We talked about that one being kind of flavor forward and kind of going up
Alamo.
like into the sinuses.
Yeah.
This one like is the exact opposite. It kind of sits and drops to the flavor goes to kind of the back of your tongue, down your throat, and it feels like a flat soda.
Which is what we said the
Yeah.
wheat
Yeah.
would do.
Yeah.
So wheat's going to be the back of your tongue.
Yeah.
This is what I just find so fascinating
Yeah.
about this whole process, how we all taste it different.
Right. But I think you're right, Dave. It does have a flat taste. It doesn't. There's no spice to it. Nothing is bright. Nothing wakes up partway through.
It's hard though to go in line right after.
Do you
that
have any
Koval.
more of that?
More of what? The stuff that no one else likes.
I can't believe you guys don't like this. You like the first one more than this one.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I felt
really
the
number
Alamo
three.
was pretty good. But the Koval, I think of the three, I like the Koval.
It's hard to come after.
I didn't really like the Alamo, but I like it more than this one.
because it stood for something.
Yeah, that's right. You like
It's
it.
all, yeah, all about
it had
meaning.
Some, it had some
Wow.
power. It had some oomph
It's
to
a
it.
meaning.
Second,
It's
second
so-
sip is a little bit better.
I'm getting a huge amount of like spice from
Really?
this. Yeah.
I think you're alone
Didn't
on that
know.
one.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Typical.
Yeah.
That's all right.
That's why we got you here.
But that was it. That was those were three
Yeah.
bottles that none of us had heard of, or Kurt had seen one of them. None of us have heard of or tasted. And that just in that quick little session, we were able to bang out three and cross one off the list or two.
And the sad part is, like, Kurt likes that one, he can't have anymore.
No, I can't.
So
That's true.
I would rather risk
one
the
of you
big
guys.
bottle.
Now let's one of you guys join the club and give me a $50 credit.
Now, the cool thing about this is the opportunity to taste bourbons that you obviously would never get here,
Yeah.
right? And then you kind of tuck it away as, all right, this is part of the treasure hunt. Because
Yeah,
you guys know,
right.
I like to go hunting, right? You know,
Yep.
and it's like get out there and try and find the stuff that
Right.
isn't going to hit the shelf. But like that Koval, that's one in the back of my mind now.
Yeah.
If I'm ever traveling, gotta
Yep.
keep
Keep
my
an
eyes
eye out
open
for
for
it.
that one.
So, can you? Does Flaviar track that they sent you these three? So, could you go
Yes.
back and say,
Yes, they do.
Okay, now can you go out there and then can you give it thumbs up, thumbs down, or create your own little wish list?
Can you?
I think so. Yeah, and you can also like they probably sell Koval. I'm guessing on their website.
We can find out.
And so last night I was putting my bar together. So you go in, you pick all the bottles that you've tasted or that you want to taste. And I would say within an hour and a half, I got an email from somebody from there said, "Hey, I noticed that you have Buffalo Trace in your bar. We've got a special going on this that you actually might like, which is much like Buffalo Trace." Like,
That's cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
in building your bar, you're building like the bar of the things that you've tried, not what's actively in your bar right now.
I started by building the things that I have tried. And what they do then is they have an algorithm that looks at everything that you've tasted. And based off of that, they will make recommendations of other bourbons that have either similar or maybe complementary tastes that they will recommend that you try.
I think it's just like movie phone. Why don't you just tell me what bourbon you'd like? You say algorithm. I think it's Kramer.
AKA.
Koval. Why don't you just tell me? So these guys, the Koval actually is the first small batch distillery in Chicago since Prohibition.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's trying to stay small. I don't know how well that's working out for them, but
That's pretty cool.
yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm digging it. I'd give it a shot again.
Absolutely.
Good one to add to the list. All right, you want to take a quick break?
Yeah.
Let's do a quick break. This podcast.
And what do you do with a bowling ball?
No.
When you're done with that? How do you go
No,
to the
so
gym?
seriously, like this is so.
All right,
listen.
so this is not your first HOA
No.
infraction.
No, it's not an infraction. I didn't do anything fucking wrong.
Kurt, I sense that.
Shut up, Dave.
Oh my God.
What are you sensing? Because it's unlike you to sense because you have no feelings.
Well, besides that,
What are you sensing?
that you're a little angry.
I'm not angry. I'm frustrated, but I'm not angry.
He just wants to put a bowling ball in his yard.
Okay, so seriously, you guys know how I take care of my yard.
Yes.
Put a lot of
Okay.
time into you.
I got a letter. I
Like a
I got a
proctologist.
letter from our HOA telling me that I did not abide by the standards of cutting, mowing, and edging, and that I need to pick up the maintenance on my property.
Which part?
Yeah.
Which part were
Yeah.
you not doing?
Okay, so here's what happened. So I had to get a repair done on my irrigation system. Mm-hmm. The guys kindly came out and peeled up the sod. They fixed it, put the sod back down, got it all leveled off. You know, it was looking good, but
Yeah.
it had a little clay residue on it. And our fucking community manager comes around, takes a little picture of that piece of grass on my yard, and sends me a
God.
fucking letter. You do not abide by the HOA standards. I essentially went back to them and told them to F off without saying it.
So-
I'm like,
so-
you got to be kidding me. I said, listen, the good old Mother Nature will clean off my grass. And if you have any issues with my grass, please come and knock on my door and we'll have that
So you had
conversation.
too much clay residue on your grass.
Yes. In like a 3x4 space on my lawn. Honest to God, I got that letter.
It's
So
like,
then,
it's like you've given up.
so I hired a new guy to do my yard for me, just like take care of like getting
I
it.
thought it was like a hitman.
Oh no! Seriously, this is like I could go on. I got all kinds of stories on this one. We planted grasses by our sign, like the street sign on the corner of our property. We got a letter saying your landscaping blocks the view of people turning off of Kennecott. You need to remove them. Okay, so I'll remove the grasses. Whatever. I got a letter the other day. So the guy who does all the treatments and everything for my lawn asked me, "Can I put a sign in your yard for a week?" I'm like, "Absolutely." I got
Wrong.
a fucking letter with a little picture of the sign sitting in my yard. So you know what I did? I called the guy. Just hold on a second. I
sure it
called the
worked.
guy. I'm like,
got
bring
attention.
me more signs. So I now have 3 of them in my yard.
I like
Because-
that. See, that's good, Kurt.
Yeah, I like
That's
it.
good.
Seriously,
That's
honest to
good.
God, they got all these graduation signs and we miss our schools and like, thank you for doing my roof and all that. And I get a fucking letter with a
6.
picture of a grass sign in my yard by my mailbox on the side of the road. Give me a break, man.
Did the
we're-
grass sign have clay on the grass? Like, is that part of the problem? Is it
Well,
just
I
circular?
should probably put clay on it. Maybe they'll ignore it then. What's even better about it is I had it on sand on the main street. I had it on the main street. for almost
You're
2
getting
weeks.
floppy there.
No, listen, I had it on
have
Main
pills
Street
for
for
that.
2 weeks. Yeah, right. I know. We had it on Main Street for almost 2 weeks. Nothing. I move it while I'm cutting the lawn, and I put it over in the monkey grass by my mailbox on the side road. I get a letter. I'm telling you, it's Icky Vicky, man.
Yeah.
She's got it out
Vicky's
for
in
me,
there.
and she knows the community manager. I'm sure of it.
So, Kurt, 7 F-bombs is way past frustrated. That's just full on
Yeah,
angry.
that is
Yeah.
for you. That is.
I have to now list this podcast as explicit.
Yeah, it is a little
It's
explicit.
okay.
Can't you just do that? Beep.
No, it's not worth the editing.
I do think it's cool that they still send letters rather than emails. A little bit
my
old
God.
school, so it's, you get the tactile pleasure of ripping it open.
Honest to God.
Well, and the funny thing
Here's
is,
the great thing. I tell my neighbors about these letters, and they're like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "No, I'm really not. I can't make this shit up."
so we
awesome.
we had a similar situation, and our house. This is when we lived in Davidson, and everyone has like these perfectly beautiful little yards, and
Yep.
they've got folks that come and cut their grass, and I cut my own grass, and I'm not going to pay somebody to do it. I'm also not going to pay $300 a month in a water bill in the middle of August to keep my grass looking green. And so my HOA pinged me for that one. And I replied back and said, listen, if you would like to contribute $300 to my water bill fund, I'd be more than happy to run my sprinklers. But the thing that got me was when Mills was home from college. It was like a long weekend or something, and parked in front of the house. Mm-hmm. Well, in that neighborhood, that was not allowed. You were not allowed to park cars in front of your house unless it was a guest. We got a picture of a car in front of our house. Like we didn't fucking know that there was a car in front of
Has that
my
been there
house.
the whole time? I only see it from this side.
We don't look out the windows of the front of our house.
Yeah, exactly.
Who does that?
It's not a problem for
Yeah,
us.
sheets hanging up.
So,
Oh, man.
anyways, HOAs. That's why we live on 4 acres.
I was going to say, so now you're not HOA. Are you HOA, Elton?
Oh yeah, yeah. And
Listen,
what Kurt
it's-
just described is like Natalie's worst nightmare.
Really?
But
Getting
which
called
we,
out?
which, knock on wood, we've never
Or
had
clay on
anything.
grass?
Yeah, that
Clay on grass.
Yeah, getting called out for clay on grass that may be the end of it for her. But yeah, we've never had an issue. But that you just described as like her whole thing is I want to move to the country. I don't want an HOA. I'm like, why?
So-
What do you want to do? Like put a car on blocks? No.
Maybe. But I have the option.
If I want to, yeah.
Dave
You
does
guys
it.
send me a letter.
And what's wrong with
No,
cars on blocks?
I don't have
on the
listen,
side of the house.
Listen,
nothing.
I'll be really clear. I don't
There's wheels.
have an issue with
There's a
HOAs.
T-shirt out the window. It's intentionally
No,
unlocked.
it's
We'll be
clipped-
back.
It's clipped in the window with an orange
Yeah,
sticker.
we'll be back for
and
it.
by the way, Liz just drove to Raleigh. She counted 21 cars there and back.
Thank you.
You missed that one. That's
We
episode
drove to-
14.
We drove
Honest
to my
to God.
parents' Sunday, and I was literally.
See, now you pay attention to it.
I totally do, and there was probably a dozen between here and Spartanburg.
Seriously, I just don't get it.
I think they are dropping at a faster rate.
I think so.
Maybe they're not actually cars that are broken down, but maybe it's cops that have pulled people that have been drinking too much. And so there's just a lot of drinking in the Raleigh Triangle area.
That's
Maybe.
possible.
These are pretty bad, rough-looking cars.
No. It's on the way to Raleigh. It's not in the Raleigh Triangle. It's between
They
here
almost
and
made
Raleigh.
it home.
They almost made it.
But let me be
knows?
clear. I don't have an issue with HOAs. Like, right? So if I think about it, like, I don't want some guy's boat sitting in his driveway and next to me. Like, I don't want that.
It's a trade-off, right?
It's a trade-off.
Yeah.
But if I legitimately was doing something that like made the neighbor,
You were
and
trying
here's
to
the best
beautify
part.
your home.
Here's
You're like,
the
I'm actually
best
trying
part.
to make it look
Okay,
better.
my neighbor next to me, like it's a rental right now, and
Yeah.
the yard is like 14 inches long in the back, full of weeds, and I got to look at that shit. So
long as we don't
this
have to
was
see it
my
from the front.
response. This was my response. I'm like, well, what are you going to do about my neighbor's yard who looks like shit and I got to look at it every day? And she's like, well, can we see it from the road? And I'm like, no, you can't. She goes, well, then I can't do anything about it. I'm like,
Vicky
honest-
doesn't care. Vicky wants you to suffer.
Vicky lives life from the,
Vicky does want
from
me to
the
suffer.
road.
Yeah, Vicky
And you-
doesn't hate your neighbor. Vicky hates you.
Now the problem is you have a corner lot, so you have two roads to be worried about. Everyone else has one road
I
to
do.
worry about.
I do.
You got double the trouble.
Whatever.
You got the Vicky.
Vicky.
Bad neighbors. Tell
All
me,
right,
4
so-
acres, 4 acres in Mooresville. No HOA.
Yeah,
Good neighbors.
I don't want 4 acres,
Good neighbors, hot summer drink.
but I see why you like it.
We got the Kentucky Mule.
Yeah, that's good.
So this was 2 ounces of clover. In one of the episodes we talked about, Alton said clover is probably a good summer drink, nice and light, refreshing, crisp. 4 ounces of ginger beer, and half a lime squeezed into each. All right, gentlemen, it's last call.
All right.
It is last call. And you are about to send your HOA.
Can we please make it about HOA?
Yes.
You're about ready to attend your quarterly HOA meeting,
Yes.
where you will vote on whether or not Kurt
Knows how to maintain his yard.
knows how to maintain his yard.
You guys better have all the right fucking answers here.
Yes.
That's all I'm
Wow,
gonna say.
and apparently there's an F-bomb in all of them.
All right, so you got to slide one by the HOA president. So you're going to bribe your way through this one. You want to put that garage just slightly in a different place than the HOA wants you to do it. But which one are you buying? What is your bribe bottle? So we got the Alamo, we got the Koval, and we've got the Journeyman.
Yep.
Featherbone.
Yep.
Alton, you want to lead us off?
Yep.
We're going to let Kurt just stew on this one a little bit and kind of imagine.
I got my answer. I got my answer.
Yes.
Imagine the minutes from that meeting.
Yep. So while I do appreciate the HOA and the restrictions, and knock on wood, I've never had an issue with them. It's kind of
Clean record.
Yeah, we got a clean record, but you got to keep it on the right scale. So I'm going straight for the Econo model. I'm going for the $35 bottle of Alamo.
Not trying to draw a lot of attention.
Yeah, I'm trying to draw no attention, and he's lucky it's not a 12-pack of Miller Lite. It's
Okay.
There you go.
one above
All right.
that.
There you go.
I like it.
Which
DK?
means you're getting a letter next week.
I know, exactly. Yeah.
Well, since it's a garage, you know how I feel about a garage. So I'm going to go high dollar and try and do everything I possibly can to do whatever I need to get that garage where I want it. So Koval, man.
All right. Koval it is.
My garage is attached to my house, so I can't move it.
But it's too far out.
Okay, you got clay on your grass and you want to make that go away.
I'm gonna go to Koval. I'm going right up there.
There you go.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Did Kurt and I just agree on something?
You did. You guys are just
Dang.
That was
so tight.
Just to
gonna
be
go-
clear, that was a pure accident.
I'm going to go buy a fucking lottery. Good Lord. Way past frustration. I'm gonna have to give you a hug after
This
this.
is,
Need it.
this is the most worked up I've ever seen Kurtron. I gotta admit that.
Polish his head and give him a little hug.
Yeah.
HOA is the trigger word.
Wow.
Now we know.
Now we know.
Thank
Just
God it
set 'em
does start
off.
with P. All right, what about you? We got 2 Kovals and an Alamo.
I'm gonna go with the Alamo, and I think HOAs are always about the battle.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that it is a last stand of someone's rights and bending the rules and defending your property. So I'm gonna go Alamo on that one.
That's
Yep.
brilliant. Like it.
Yeah, it's we came into this session with absolutely no theme, and we ended on HOA.
No, exactly. Let's write this
Common
down.
enemy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to look at that.
All right, boys. Well, this is another fantastic episode. We had some good bourbon. The Alamo, Koval, Journeyman. As we mentioned, this episode is sponsored by, and they'll find out soon enough, by Flaviar.
When they receive the invoice.
If you want a free bottle of bourbon credit, just email any one of us, because I think we're all connected to it, and we'll hook you up with a referral link. But this is great. Another great time spending a good evening together, laughing a lot of the stress off, trying some good bourbon, sampling the summer drink, the Kentucky Mule, and enjoying lots of good conversation and lots of laughter. So,
Yeah. Hope everybody's getting out and about.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
enjoy.
Masks
Yeah,
on,
boys.
bourbon on.
bourbon on.
Bourbon on.